There is almost an indefinite amount of content in this world when it comes to media. The sheer amount of time it would take to watch every movie, read every book, or play every video game would be near incomprehensible to the human mind. Because of this, it's inevitable that pieces of media get lost in the ever-growing sea of entertainment. In this series, we'll be exploring the depths of media from all corners of the world in hopes that we might find that which has been lost to time. This is Media Mysteries. Believe it or not, this past year or so has been pretty great for Big Comfy Couch fans. We started off strong last year with the story of a possessed Molly doll. A few months later, we're hit by a dump truck of nostalgia with an incredible Defunctland video, and we started off 2021 by solving the mystery of the Big Comfy Couch Xbox game. Seeing the mystery of the Big Comfy Couch game being solved a few months ago by fellow YouTuber LSuperSonicQ was rather bittersweet. Sure, it was amazing to finally have some closure on something I believed I'd never have, but at the same time, I couldn't help but feel I'd missed out. You see, nobody would really know this, but the mystery of the Big Comfy Couch for Xbox was originally planned to be the very first video in this series. Thing was, I'd already started the Nighttime series with a Big Comfy Couch video, and it just felt a little weird to me to immediately start Media Mysteries with another Big Comfy Couch video, so instead I opted to go with the much requested, then lost series, My Special Book. I actually dived right into writing the Big Comfy Couch game video right after uploading My Special Book, and it was actually planned to be released after the Herobrine Nighttime, which was already half finished. Alas, as life likes to do to me, it kicked my ass, and I had to go back away for a while. I've been planning the return of Obscurity for a really long time now, and have a lot of really exciting content I want to share with you all. But I really couldn't have picked a worse time to come back. Obviously, social distancing makes it really hard to get together and make some of the things I have planned. However, I won't be leaving you alone anymore, I promise. But once again, I'm back. No more new crazy promises this time, but what I can promise you is
I have no intention to leave my work unfinished.
Now, even though the investigation into the game is concluded, I still feel my pedigree demands I still talk about it, and I feel as if I will still have something to offer here. After all, as Lunette would say,
a promise is a promise, even to yourself.
So, without further ado, let's dive into the mostly solved mystery of the Big Comfy Couch Xbox game. On May 15th, 2011, the website Unseen64 posted an article detailing information they had received on what seemed to be an out-of-season April Fool's joke. A cancelled Big Comfy Couch game from the early 2000s for the original Xbox. To say the page was detailed would be an overstatement. However, luckily it did contain 3 screenshots that would help confirm the game existed in at least some form. Said screenshots were something else. Surprisingly, it seemed Lunette would go on a bloody adventure to rid the world of dust bunnies, balloons, and piñatas. Watch out, Fergie! Here comes the clown! To be a little more serious, these screenshots did actually reveal a few things. For one, the game featured a minimap, implying it to be semi-open world. A health bar, even in the shot without the bunnies, implying enemies would be a proper thing, unlike most games for children. And there seemed to be either a point system or a time limit on these stages, I can't really tell. Now, when I first came across this page all the way back when researching for the Big Comfy Couch review in 2017, I really thought it to be a fake. An interesting fake that had a lot of work put into it, but a fake nonetheless. Thankfully though, not everybody shared my rather negative opinion, and about a year later, a thread was posted to the Lost Media Wiki by our good friend, Canadian Childhood. The thread mostly ran around in circles, with many users sharing similar beliefs that I held at the time, mocking the ridiculousness of the situation and doubting there could ever be any real truth to it. Eventually, the thread caught the eye of fellow forums user and YouTuber LSuperSonicQ, who would go on in the future to make a set of videos on the search that would end with its conclusion. LSSQ, as he'll be known for the rest of this video, contacted Unseen64 and requested more information regarding the mysterious post. Somewhat surprisingly, he did actually receive a reply stating that to their knowledge the game was real, and the screenshots were sent by a developer who wished to remain anonymous. Notably, they also mentioned that they had also received similar information from the same email address regarding another unreleased game revolving around the Power Rangers, titled Power Rangers Legacy. At the time, no information or screenshots of Power Rangers Legacy had been released online, so LSuperSoniQ quickly emailed them back and received these images which bear an uncanny resemblance to our fabled Big Comfy Couch game. This linked these two games together forever, and an uncanny crossover between Big Comfy Couch and the Power Rangers had been created. LSuperSoniQ brought this information to our friends on the forums who ate this new information up and realized that if they could find more information on the Power Rangers game, which in theory would be a lot easier, they could likely also find more information on the Big Comfy Couch game. Our man with the plan, Canadian Childhood, brought up the point that several Power Rangers games from the early 2000s had been published by THQ. Needless to say, this stirred the hornet's nest, and the entire forum began looking for anybody who had anything to do with THQ. LSuperSoniQ eventually came across the contact information of an old THQ brand manager, funnily enough named Allison, and shot her an email asking if she knew anything about the Power Rangers Legacy game. Sadly, she confirmed she knew nothing about the game, and that by the time it would have been in development, the license had already been in Disney's hands. It was around this point that the search on the forums went cold, and instead moved to the Discord server On The Hunt 3, where LSuperSoniQ remained prominent. Though the search on the forums was all but dead, the move to this Discord server managed to breathe new life into the topic as it put it in front of an entirely new group of people.
Hey, what's that guy talking about?
I don't know, but he's got a megaphone.
It was there that a few users suggested that there may have been more information hidden within the original emails sent to Unseen64. So LSuperSoniQ got back at it and again emailed Unseen64. Thankfully, this wasn't actually another dead end. It turned out that a name had been dropped in the original emails, that of former Capcom developer Chris Tang. Now, this is where it gets crazy, guys. Seriously, this stuff borders conspiracy theory levels, and it's honestly shocking to me that any of this turned out to be real. Discord user WowNowHistorian did some digging into Chris Tang's history, and discovered that in the early 2000s, he was known to be working with a guy named Eric Suzuki at a company called Gen-Z. Well, why is this significant? Because it turns out that the same Eric Suzuki was the ex-husband of the one and only Allison Court, Lunette the Clown. You honestly just can't make this stuff up. Now, since I'm not a sane individual, the gears in my mind began turning, and I started thinking about that time period regarding the Big Comfy Couch. Longtime fans know that in 2002 to 2006, interest around the show was high, and many old once abandoned projects had been put back on the burner. This involved reinstating production of the series, revisiting the idea of the sadly cancelled movie Get Comfy, and maybe, just maybe, an Xbox game. Now if you somehow missed LSuperSoniQ's follow-up video, you'd think that this would be the end of the mystery. But the case wasn't shut just yet. Discord user Foxlet sent Chris Tang an email, and shockingly, he actually joined their Discord server. Now if I would have been involved in the search, this would have been the very second I shit my pants. Lo and behold, Chris was actually the lead developer of the game, and had been working directly with Radical Sheep to create an authentic, comfy experience. The game was set to be much like other kids' games at the time, and basically be an elaborate set of 8 minigames tied together through a hub world. This basically confirms my semi-open world theory. Some of these games had been somewhat completed, others existed solely as mock-ups. In fact, the only reason the game looked so jank in the screenshots was that a heavy time crunch resulted in the game being worked on an engine designed for action games. Presumably though, the Dust Bunny's gore would have been fixed well before release. Chris couldn't state why the game had been cancelled, but my gut tells me that it could have something to do with Allison Court hanging up her hat to help raise her son, which potentially put Big Comfy Couch into limbo until they ended up hiring Ramona Gilmore Darling to finish the series. So there you have it, guys. A proper conclusion to this media mystery. While I'm still kinda sour I missed out on the search, I'm very happy with how it went, and I'm extremely grateful to all the work LSuperSonicQ put into the search and the attention he brought it. However, this does make me wonder about other potential Big Comfy Couch lost media. While the entire show has been available on DVD and streaming for some time now, there are some lost bits that could turn up someday. The two most interesting to me were the animated series and planned movie that were brought up by Defunctland in his Big Comfy Couch video last year. Now, the thing is we really can't call those lost media, as we really have no idea if anything was actually produced for them at all. We can't just start calling ideas or concepts lost media. If that were the case, then there'd be a whole bunch of Obscurity lost media. Actually, you know what is a piece of Obscurity lost media? Here, take a look at this.
From my Auntie Macassar, of course.
I'm okay now.
Oh, come on, try. Everybody dies!
Around the time of the 2016 clown sightings, and inspired by Allison Court's appearance on This Hour's 22 Minutes, I decided to try my hand at making a Big Comfy Couch fan game with Game Maker Studio. Needless to say, I'm no game developer, and what you see here is really what you get. It was to focus on Lunette waking up one day to discover Clowntown overrun by zombies. Sadly, all that remains is this little bit of footage, as the original files for what would have been called Clown Apocalypse were lost when my old laptop died, ensuring this fan game will forever be both Obscurity and Big Comfy Couch lost media. Thank you for watching Media Mysteries. Be sure to like and subscribe to prepare yourselves for more wacky, wild, and fun content. This is PJ John, signing out. Have a great one, guys.